morning. I am very happy to introduce this lab. It is aerodynamics and propulsion lab. Here we are with the wind tunnel, and I am going to tell about calibration of wind tunnel. To do the calibration and why to do the calibration. Every time we have to assess that the given the values of the wind tunnel is matching with the required values. So every time we have to undertake the calibration of any measuring equipments. So here we will be calibrating the speed of our wind tunnel and as per the RPM of this motor, how much velocity it is producing. So I will start with here. The first thing we have to switch on this wind tunnel circuit breaker like this. So you will listen here some sound. If the sound is coming, it is from the motor, it means it has started. Now I have to go to the regulator here. We have this regulator, and in this regulator, as you can see here that we can here start this. Enter. So here we have to put the enter. So you will get here 60 RPM. It means it is okay. Now here you can see start and stop. So here forward and the reverse. It should be in the forward. And here it is stop and start. So I have to. It is now started. It is now 60 RPM. So the motor is rotating with the. Our motor is rotating with the 60 RPM. So we have to make sure that aircraft, this wind tunnel is starting and it is responding again and again. We have to see every time that your RPM of the given RPM and the actual RPMs should be equal. Now we can increase here speed, and here we have one is upward arrow, another is a downward. If I increase here, this you can see the speed of it is increasing. So now it is 87 RPM. So for each and every RPM, we have to see that how much RPM is it is increasing or decreasing. If you want to decrease, you can use this thing. If you are pressing once, it will come 1-1. And if you want to again increase, you can use this arrowhead to increase the speed of this wind tunnel. So I am putting here the 100, and as per the 100, if you see that it is now going to be 100 RPM, and I will fix here, and then I will see that it is now 100 RPM. So 100, 200, 300, 400 up to 1450 RPM, we have to do this wind tunnel calibration. And if you see here, how to calibrate, here we can see, here we have the inclined tube manometer. This inclined tube manometer is used to measure the velocity, and this velocity should be with respect to the RPM of the motor. Just now I have explained you how to set the motor RPM. So in this time we have 100. If you see here, if you increase the RPM, okay, by this lab assistant, he is increasing up to 300 RPM, and then you can observe here. This you can observe here that the level of this thing is increasing now. As the speed of the motor is increased, the level of this is increasing, and it is now 200 RPM, and now he is increasing to 400, and you can see how much it is increasing in the 400 RPM. So like this we have to do from 100, 200, 300 up to 1450 RPM. 1450 is the maximum RPM. In that RPM, it's supposed to be 50 meter per second. The velocity of the wind should be there. So at 100 how much, at 200 how much, and we know that the equation from the Bernoulli's equation that P naught minus V is equal to rho GH. Okay, and if we calculate this, the velocity becomes V is equal to 3.68 under root H. So where under root H is the difference between initial height of this thing and the final height of this manometer. So this H, I have shown you the initial, it is some 3 mm, and now if you see it is somewhere 23 mm. So 23 mm minus 3 mm, you will get 20 mm, and this under root 3.68 into under root 20, you will get the speed of this wind tunnel. So like this for every RPM, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, I have. So now you can see that for the 600 RPM, how much it is coming. Okay, so for the 400, it was 23 mm, and now for 600 mm, this you can see how much the level of this thing is increasing. You can see how fast it is running. Okay, so now it is 600 RPM, and if you can see here, it is now 50, 51, 52, and 53 RPM. Means it is a 53 mm. So previously for the 400 it was 23, now it is a 53. So increase of 30 mm from that speed to this speed is, and from here it is 50 mm. So 3.68 under root 50. So this is the speed of the in meter per second, and this we have to calculate only in millimeter, not in other units. So here you have to take this reading in millimeter, because V is equal to the velocity of this thing is equal to 3.68 under root H, and this H is in millimeter. Okay, thank you very much for this my experiment number 2, which is the calibration of wind tunnel velocity. Thank you very much for the training. Please tune for my next video for the next experiment. Thank you very much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.